What's up, guys? I'm here with Sean Malku, and man, this guy has over 420,000 subscribers around there total, right?
Yeah.
And then like 90 million views, or do you have more than that, like total?
I think it's around 90, yeah. Probably around
Heck
90,
yeah,
95.
that's sick, bro. That's
Yeah.
like what, like uh, what is that? 1% of the world?
Probably.
Yeah, that's crazy, or over that. But anyways, man, what I'm more impressed with is I didn't even know you had a company doing 1.5 million in revenue, and then you have 3 million in assets of real estate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah,
So
and
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people think I only do YouTube. So
yeah, um, yeah. So 3 million, and you're only 27 years old too, right?
Yep.
1996.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy, bro. So my first question is coming from my friend Landon. He's a sales guy, and he was just wondering uh, what career you would if you were in your mid early 20s again. What career would you pick and why?
It's a good question. So I tell everyone, you're not going to save your way to being rich. You have to increase your income to build wealth. No matter how financially stable you are, how good budgeting you have, it doesn't matter. You need to have increased income. So when I tell people, especially guys, there's a lot of guys in their 20s who are super driven, willing to work 80 hours a week, wanting to really build something. I tell them to get into any sort of sales role, and that's anything from pesticide sales to car sales to real estate. Literally anything you can think of, solar sales, any type of sales position. Find something that you like. You don't have to love it, just like it, and work your butt off on it for 3 to 5 years. Build some really good income. Try to get your income above 150K, and take all of that income that you're earning and throw it into assets. So it's hard to pick a specific job, but if I had to restart, I would be doing pretty much the same thing I'm doing now. I would pick some sort of sales role and just attack it and just work my butt off on it.
Heck yeah, bro. I appreciate that. That's amazing, bro. Yeah. That's sick, bro. Um, so what it like? So my question to you is, well, first of all, can I guess how much you made off YouTube, and you can say higher or lower?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. My guess is so you've gotten 95 million views, but you've done a lot of products, right? With your you've done like merch or
Yeah, so are we doing just YouTube ad revenue, or are we doing total?
no total, yeah.
Okay, all right. I think I could probably ballpark it, but yeah, I did have merchandise. I don't do a whole lot of merchandise sales anymore, but had that, had affiliates, and live streamed a little bit. So yeah, I guess those are the main revenue. So go for it.
Heck yeah. My guess is uh not 850K.
I think you're pretty close. I would say it's a little bit lower though.
Okay. Heck yeah, that's amazing still, man. That's amazing. Off YouTube, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
start. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people always think of right with YouTube is, you're going to start and make your 150K right there. I've been doing YouTube probably as long as you. I'm doing YouTube for, I don't know, probably 10 years now, probably over 10 years now. So, it's just like the longer you're doing it, the more content you make, the more stuff you have out there, affiliates and merchandise and whatever. I mean, it adds up. My first year on YouTube made no money. Second year on YouTube, probably made no money. Third year on YouTube, maybe made 6 grand. I don't know. It's that slow build until you have like some really good years. So
yeah, dude, wow. That's encouraging though, man. That's encouraging. So my next question is so I've heard Brad Lee say this. I've heard um Alex Hermosi. You're familiar with Alex Hermosi, right?
of course.
Yeah, so money follows attention. Can you break that down on how uh, how that is for you? Like how that, like, can you break that down for us? What that means to you,
Um,
or if you
yeah. So
agree with it,
what was that?
or if you agree with it, or what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah. So with money follows attention. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of like I always like to think of it. There's a lot of ways go out and kind of branch out on it. So you got guys like Graham Stephan, if you've heard of him, or you got guys like Ryan Pineda. They talk about all the time how they've got they'll buy something super nice. For Graham it'd be a nice sports car, or for Ryan Pineda maybe a nice watch. They buy something nice. And it gets them into different circles, of people who appreciate those high end things, and it could completely change your course of whatever you're doing, right? I have a buddy, he has a McLaren, and he gets into circles that otherwise, if you didn't have that McLaren, he wouldn't get into. No matter how much money he made, no one would know. So I don't know. I don't think too much on that topic, because I kind of stay in my own lane and do kind of what I want to do, and hit my goals. But I do see how some people will kind of follow that and build their kind of day to day around that. But I'd be curious on your thoughts.
Well, I was more curious of like talking about like as far as I guess your YouTube, like how you got like turning like I guess views. My question is like how you turn views into dollar, like that kind of attention. Does that make sense
Okay.
more?
Yeah. That's like I mean, I think Mr. Beast is kind of like the king on everything on that. It's like the dude who make a million on a video, or makes way more now, but let's say he makes a million on a video and then spends 500K on the next video, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. With more attention on your channel, I guess when I started out and I was growing all of my channels and everything, I didn't really care about the money. I didn't really even care about the attention, to be honest. I really just cared about the content, and I wanted the content to be super bomb. And if people really liked the content, then that was my ultimate goal. So, but yeah, I mean, once you have a big following, or you have a lot of viewership, it's very easy to generate income off it. I mean,
Mm.
it, but if you go the other way around, right? If you try to generate income or generate money, and then build a following or get attention because of that, I think you're going to have a lot harder time, because people will see right through that.
Yes, I agree. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Even if it's on a different platform, like though, like even if it's on Instagram, I've been growing on Instagram, and then so it's like, would you agree that it's like it's the same with Instagram or anything else? Just like
100%.
okay,
It's the same thing, even if you take it into like a business sense. Your product or your content, if you have a really bomb product, like, you're gonna make a lot of money. If you have really bomb content, you're gonna make a lot of money. But you need to focus on that product first, and then the money's gonna come later.
heck yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Um, and then my other question was so you're doing well for 27, ma- making millions of dollars or whatnot. Like, so have you? I've heard Andrew Tate say once you make like 20 million a year, like, or then you're just like kind of like everything's the same. Or I don't know if you've gotten to the point where it's just like you don't really care about the money. You're just doing what you love. Like you're. But how do you explain to people that are like chasing that money? I feel like you don't really you chase more of like what you want to do, right? Or no, or no.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, like with Andrew Tate, on his thing is, anything after like 20 mil or whatever the number is, the lifestyle doesn't really change, right? You buy a $40,000 watch, well, once you're above 20 mil, it's like that $40,000 watch, like that's the nicest watch you could have gotten, and your lifestyle isn't getting astronomically better above that amount. And I mean, I'm not at that level yet, but I would agree that you hit certain plateaus, and like, I always told myself when I was in high school, like, I want to make 100K, I want to make six figures, and then you make your first six figures, and then the next time you make six figures, you're kind of like, well, it doesn't really do it for me anymore, and that kind of quality of life didn't really change, even though you take someone who's made 100 grand versus someone who's made 500 grand. right? You think there's a really big difference, but I haven't really seen it. As I've leveled up my income, that when I hit 100K, I felt like my life was really a whole lot different. And then once I started pushing, 300K and 400K and 800K, like my life didn't really change, because I'm taking all that extra earnings and I'm throwing it back into assets. So my day to day life is honestly hasn't changed in like 4 years. I still live off like 50K a year, even though I make way more than that.
Uh-huh.
But I do think there's going to be a point where once I get to it, it's going to drastically change my life. And maybe that's where, it's a couple million a year type of thing. Like, okay, now my lifestyle, I feel comfortable increasing it a lot higher, nicer cars, nicer houses, whatever. But I feel like I'm not quite there yet. And my lifestyle is still very similar. So.
Gotcha. That makes sense, man. That makes sense. So like, so your lifestyle isn't that much different. So you still live off 50K and all that. So like, would you, would you agree with this statement? Alex Hormozy said 80%, 80 to 90% of the utility of money is in the first like 100,000. And then after that, like, it's not like, it's like barely anything. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, I feel like people need to think about what they need to live on a daily basis, right? So if you think, I mean, might sound crazy, but I eat out 3 meals a day. I don't cook food, and I know everyone says, "Oh, you're spending so much money, and you're whatever." I've done the math; it's very similar. But even if I were to go out and eat nice places 3 meals a day, you get to a point, unless you're going mega uber expensive places, let's say you're spending 40, $50 a meal, which is that's a ton of money, at least where we live, right? Like $40, $50 a meal is a lot of money. And even if you're spending that 3 times a day, you don't really need to be making that much money to live that lifestyle. So yeah, I feel like that 100, I do mortgages, so I see a lot of people's personal finances, and people who are doing 50K a year versus 100K, it's a very drastic lifestyle. But yeah, that 100K to 200K, the lifestyle is pretty similar. Yeah, you might have slightly nicer stuff. You might have a newer car versus we're talking like a 2022 versus a 2019, right? It's not too big of a difference. But you talk about someone making 50K a year versus 100. Yeah, 50K a year is pretty hard to live a lifestyle at someone that 100K is, because you're just trying to pay your bills. You're literally trying to pinch all your pennies. You're struggling to make rent. You're struggling to save money. Like, that's a different lifestyle. But yeah, so I would agree. And it obviously depends where you live, right? You live in California, 100K is like not much. So you need to be making a little more than that. But yeah, once you cover your basic needs with your money, everything on top of that, unless you are a crazy spender, isn't going to feel that much different for you.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it. Um, so my other question was, how important is networking and connecting with people? Like, all I do on a daily basis is connect with people and make videos, and like I probably spend like 30 hours a week just like out, just networking, just connecting with people, meeting people, just because I enjoy it, because I'm thankful I make the passive income from YouTube. Um, but yeah, how would you say, how important is networking and connecting when it comes to making money?
It's probably hands down the most important thing. Networking, everyone always says, your net worth is your network, right? Or your network is your net worth. Like, they go hand in hand together, because you surround yourself with people that you want to basically level up with, then that's where you're going to be, right? Everyone always talks about, hey, if I can tell where someone's going in life based on their 3 closest friends or their 4 closest friends, which is great because the people around you will level you up. But to me, I've always been that guy that goes out and networks with literally everyone. I want everyone to know me at least a little bit. They don't have to know me super well, but I want everyone to know me. And so always introducing myself. I tell all my guys at my company, because in mortgages or in real estate, you got to go out and network. And they go to networking events, because as they're building their business, and I'll go with them. Like, I don't need to go to networking events, but I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go meet people. I'm going to go talk to new people. And there's never someone that I'd ever write off, right? It also is kind of a little bit of an Achilles heel, because you're like, well, if someone asks you to do something, you're like, I'm there. I want to be a resource for you. I want to be I want to help you, so maybe in the future you can help me, kind of thing. And networking is huge for that. For example, this past week, I got invited to go to Semperfi Heating and Cooling. It's like a big company. They do like 60 million a year or whatever in revenue. I got invited to go to their office and talk to all of their employees about buying a house and doing things like that. And the reason I got that connection was because of me networking years and years ago with someone who then now their brother-in-law, owns Semperfi Heating and Cooling. So it's like, you never know what your network's going to do. And that's just one example. I mean, stuff like that happens every week for me where someone I met a really long time ago will hit me up, and then there's this big opportunity or, something cool. So I think hands down, networking is the most important thing. And I will say anyone who's trying, like when I was 16, 17 and I was like, I want to be a millionaire. The one piece of advice that I wish I got during that time was find someone that is living the life that you want. Find someone that's doing exactly where you want to be in 5 to 10 years and go work for that person or go do exactly what that person is doing. Go follow those steps, because if you can build your network around those types of people, you will turn into that and you will create that lifestyle.
Heck yeah, that's a word, bro. Heck yeah, I appreciate that, man. Dude, it's been amazing, bro. We have 30 seconds left, so I encourage you guys to check out his channel. Yeah, he makes content with the new channel, right? Your personal channel. So you talk about business, right? Mortgages.
Yeah, literally everything on there. Everything I'm doing in my life, whether it's business or mortgages, or a lot of times I'll do a lot of some of my greatest videos on there are about YouTube. How to grow a YouTube channel. So pretty much anything I'm doing in my life and leveling myself up, I'm usually just sharing with videos on there. So, and that channel is my hub. So all my other channels and everything else I'm a part of kind of connects from there. So yeah, youtube.com/Sean Malku.
All right. That'll be in the link in the description, and and show notes if you're listening to it. And then on YouTube, just in the link in the description. Thank you so much, Sean. God bless you, bro. I really appreciate your time. This has been amazing, bro.